everybody. My name is Jessie Blum, and I'm a children's librarian at the Central Library of the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. And today I'm going to be coming to you with some notable titles for children's nonfiction for 2020. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me and you can email me at blumj@buffalolib.org. So the first two titles that I wanted to share with you today are about voting, just in time for Election Day. V is for Voting is a fun alphabet book. That's a great story about civics and activism. It has some really lovely illustrations, including some famous figures that have been important in different movements throughout the ages. The last two pages include a timeline and some history about the people illustrated throughout the book. So as you see, it just goes alphabetically, including this one about suffragettes. And at the end, it actually tells you who those characters or those figures in history are. Really nice book here. The second one, similarly, is called I Voted, and it's a cute book about the voting process in a simple and easy to understand way. It includes info and a bibliography at the back about how the voting process works in the United States. What I really like about it is it actually makes voting accessible for children. It talks about maybe you're the only one voting about something, so whether or not you want ice cream or whether or not you want a hug or a kiss. So it's kind of interesting about making your own choices and being able to voice those opinions. At the back, they have some actual information here, like I said, about different states and their voting rules and local governments and things like that. So that's another really good book in that area. Similarly, I really love this book. It's called All the Way to the Top. And it's the story of Jennifer Keelan, who was born in 1981 and was diagnosed with cerebral palsy in 1983. She was interested in activism from a very young age, fighting for her way to attend kindergarten with kids her own age. And she participated in the Capitol Crawl that helped to pass the ADA in 1990. The book, again, is beautifully illustrated, and it talks about her own struggles to be able to attend school and then to participate in different marches and different calls for activism, including the Capitol Crawl right here. And then it does include some information at the back about her own personal timeline and how it actually aligns with the timeline for rights for the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So really nice book to share with kids here about rights and how even though you're just a kid, you can actually fight for your own rights. Let's jump off a little bit differently right now. This is A Kid's Guide to Dogs by Arden. There's also A Kid's Guide to Cats. These are lovely books. They include actual photographs as well as some beautiful illustrations, and they show many different breeds of dogs. It includes trivia, DIY projects to make things for your pets like snacks and toys and things like that. It also has training ideas and info on care, what to do if your dog gets sick, that kind of stuff. There's some fun ideas, like I said, to make for your dogs or how to train your dog and how to fix maybe problem behaviors. Really accessible, really, really nice, easy to read books here. I also have, sorry, I keep turning around, my table's behind me, Chemistry for Kids. I really like this book, especially if kids are learning at home right now. This book includes biographies of some awesome chemists and then some experiments and activities that you could try at home based on their work. It includes a glossary of terms and a periodic table. Let me show you an example of this. So it will include a famous chemist. It's got both men and women. It's really nicely diverse. Information about their biography, how they became a chemist, and what they were famous for. This one happens to be Agnes Pockels, who was born in 1862, and her work in surface tension, and how she did things actually in her kitchen sink to make science. And then her experiment that you could do at home here is about surface tension. It's easy to explain to kids how you could do that at home. It includes obviously your material, some safety tips in the protocol. I like how it uses scientific terms as well, right? So safety hints and tricks protocol and actually what you should actually get in the end here. There's also a story behind the chemistry, so it explains where this experiment would fit into the larger understanding of chemistry. At the back is a really nice glossary of terms so kids could understand those scientific terms if they don't already. And then there is a periodic table So sometimes chemicals are explained in those science experiments and activities, and then there's a periodic table so kids could see where their different molecules and things actually fit into the larger picture. Really nice book here. This one's good for actually a little bit younger kids. This is World Cup Women. This is a beautiful book about the 2019 World Cup champion team and how they achieved success. It's a book full of positive messages and about hard work and teamwork. Really, really cute illustrations about how the women on that team started when they were young children and how they became a World Cup phenomenon. At the back of this book, it's really nice. It names all of the women and where they're from. So kids might be able to see that there were, girls just like them who came from places similar to them that made it to the World Cup. Cute book. I got a couple more here for you. This one, I think my son would actually love this one. It's called The Boy Who Thought Outside the Box. And this is a biography of Ralph Baer. And you might not know who he is, but you definitely have been affected by his works. He is known as the father of video games. So he fled Nazi Germany with his family as a child, and he went on to invent the first television video game, known as the Magnavox Odyssey in 1972. And that's where that Pong came from. It was a brown box, and Pong was the first game on it. And if you're not familiar with that, and if you've never played that game, you probably have played Simon. And he invented Simon as well. So there's illustrations about his childhood and about how he read everything he could and how he learned his trade by tinkering. So he learned how to fix small things like radios. And he worked his way up through IBM to be able to design his game system. That's the Magnavox Odyssey right there. So great book for kids who are into video games. It talks actually about how, he essentially became a pioneer, inventing things that we still play with today. There's some nice biographical information at the back as well, and some additional reading. So if your kids get interested in what they've seen here, they can actually keep going and reading some more information. So really interesting book about a very interesting man. This book, a kid's book about racism. So this book by Jelani Memory is a very simple book with a huge message. It provides a clear description of what racism is, how it makes people who experience it feel, and how to spot it. It's great for starting a conversation. It's a great group read. I would really suggest this for kids, I think from like 6 and up. There's no illustrations. It just uses the text to explain feelings. So different words get highlighted, or words are treated in different ways to explain the feelings and the emotions that go along with racism. Great book to share. I hope you enjoyed some of these books. There's also a PDF of some more titles, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.